We're live on Friday. I saved the best for last. Producer Joe, thanks for your help. This is about the best all-natural back pain reliever ever. It's a very bold statement. I do understand that, but I stand by this one. And I'll tell you why, because there's a very specific reason why. As many of you know, I suffered with back pain for 10 years at least. Severe back problems, severe degenerated disc, and I tried every treatment. I did everything, and eventually I found a way out. But along this way, I took a lot of nutrition. I tried the medicine, it didn't work, but so I took a lot of nutrition. And we're using something now that is, I think, a medical breakthrough for helping resolve inflammation. So when I make decisions, I base it on my own experience, the experience of my patients, but also what does the research say. We go to pubmed.gov, which is the National Library of Medicine database, which is really where you find the truth. And this is a scientific study about a patient that was taking specialized pro-resolving mediators. And this patient was a 50-year-old male, 244 pounds, body mass index 34, so he's a big dude. He had low back pain, he had osteoarthritis, and he had hypertension. Hypertension was under control, and he was taking medication to help him sleep. He was taking Ambien, and he was taking fish oil, 300 milligrams a day, and he'd been taking that for 4 years. And this is important because what I'm going to talk about today, a lot of people say, oh, I take fish oil, I'm fine. Okay, in this particular case, he was taking fish oil for 4 years, every day. It's a lot of fish oil. Now, for the study, his back pain was a 7 out of 10. This is super important, okay, because 7 is high. 7 is uncomfortable all the time. He had moments of sharp pain for his low back. Same thing for his shoulder. His shoulder pain was a 4 out of 10 with sharp pain at the time. His knee pain was 4 out of 10. He had big toe pain. It was 5 out of 10, and his big toe was swollen. So he had a lot of redness in the big toe. Now, these were the biomarkers. He filled out a health appraisal questionnaire, which is one of these questionnaires, and it's scored. And this is a score for your physical, mental, and emotional states that are scored. And his score was a 38. His quality of life score scored from 7 to 10. And his score was a 7. And 10 is the highest score. You want to be a 10, and he was a 7. C-reactive protein is a biomarker for inflammation in your body. We've talked about inflammation. The key to getting rid of your back pain is decreasing the inflammation. So his C-reactive protein was very high. Normal is between 0 and 3. It was very high. Prostaglandin E2 is also a biomarker for inflammation. And this tends to be the biomarker that causes pain. So when you have high levels of prostaglandin E2, you have high levels of pain. This one correlates very directly with pain. His score was 795. Between 200 and 400 is considered normal, so he was twice normal. And his interleukin 6 was 4.8. And interleukin 6 is important because the one study where they identified the one variable, the only variable present in spinal surgery patients that was an indicator as to why they didn't get better, one of the only things present was interleukin 6. So if interleukin 6 is higher, you're less likely to get better with spinal surgery. Okay, this patient did not have spinal surgery. But, so the intervention was 4 specialized pro-resolving mediators, the resolvents of the inflammation, 4 per day for 8 weeks. So the patient was taking 4 specialized pro-resolving mediators every day for 8 weeks. And the question is, what happened? Didn't change anything else. Kept doing the Ambien, was not going through any physical therapy at all, which is kind of important. Okay? So was taking the pain meds, and his pain, I shouldn't say pain meds, he was not taking pain meds, he was taking the specialized pro-resolving mediators. His low back pain was a 7 when he started, At 8 weeks after taking the product for 8 weeks, he was down to a 3 out of 10. His shoulder pain was a 4 out of 10 when he started, down to a 2 out of 10. His knee pain was a 4 out of 10, down to a 3. His big toe pain was a 5 out of 10 when he started, down to a 0.5, so less than 1 out of 10. When he started, his big toe was swollen. By the end, there was no swelling. Okay? So this is important because the back pain went from a 7 to a 3. So it's very beneficial for back pain. It's beneficial for all pains. But here's also what happened. So the health appraisal questionnaire that we talked about that determines the score for your physical, mental, and emotional states. Okay, so how do you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally? Was a 38 down to a 19. Obviously, the goal is to get to a 0, but he had improved by a lot. Okay, physically, mentally, and emotionally. His quality of life went from a 7 to an 8, so it's going up. C-reactive protein, remember this is the biomarker for inflammation. Normal is between 0 and 3. Okay, down to less than 1. Wasn't an 8. Prostaglandin E2, here's the kicker right here. This is the one that's responsible for pain. When this is very high, you have a lot of pain. Okay, down to a 182. Normal is 200 to 400, so he was good. His interleukin 6 hit was at a 4.8 down to a 1.8. And this is, again, this is the variable here. That is, if it's high, that very often is an indicator that your surgery is going to fail, which means that it's not, well, you're not going to fix your problem by doing the intervention. Now, in this case, this patient got dramatically better just from taking the Specialized Pro resolving mediators. There was nothing else. No other intervention. Everything else was exactly the same for 8 weeks. Now, for our program and for you to get out of back pain, there's really 4 phases. Number 1 is to decrease pain and inflammation. The goal is to feel better in the area where you have a problem. And then after you start to feel better, which is the core of everything that we do with our treatments, then the goal is to create stability, because when the spine is unstable, even if you feel better, if the spine is unstable, then the pain comes back. Okay, so if you want to eliminate your back pain so it never comes back, you start by decreasing the pain, and then you activate the stabilizing muscles, and you create endurance. Endurance is the ability for a muscle to do an activity for a long period of time. If you do not have endurance, very often what happens is it fatigues and the joint gives out, then you reactivate the problem. So stability and endurance. And then you want to restore motion. Motion to the spine. You don't have to overdo it, but also motion to the hips and the shoulders, because they all work together, right? And then functional strength, meaning the strength that you need to live your everyday life with the endurance, the motion, and the activities, push, pull, carry, lift, lunge, things like that. When this is functionally strong, you can do those everyday activities, you do not have back pain anymore. It starts right here though. And the one thing that I can tell you is to get this to lower quickly, we use the Specialized Pro resolving mediators. It works because it decreases the inflammatory process. It decreases the inflammation that causes all the pain. Okay? It's not a miracle, but this is what we do. This is our program. If you do this, you do physically get better. We've been doing this for 25 years. We've developed a 10-step process. Step 1 is to decrease the inflammation. Avoid the activities that cause it to get worse, and then restore function, which is endurance, stability, motion, and functional strength. But we've been treating back pain, hernia, and discs for 25 years. And to me, this is a breakthrough. This is where you start. There is some question where to start. TotalBackPainRelief.com/SPM. I think it's a / Last time I called it a /. Someone told me I said it wrong. It's this right here. And I'll put a little button right here. All right. And there are some bonuses. Some of the bonuses are the anti-inflammatory diet. You don't have to eat an anti-inflammatory diet, but certainly it helps. Avoiding sugar, or lowering some of your sugar, and lowering some of your flour. And then there's an antioxidant diet. Okay, you don't have to do these. This really does make a huge difference. Okay? And if you want to give us a call, 844-577-7329 is a number. That's it. Have a good weekend. Today's Friday. Beautiful day outside. See you Monday. Be careful. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a video tomorrow on a Saturday. That'll be fun. I like Saturdays. I might be golfing though.